Good morning. You've probably worked it out, but today's vlog is going to be about ice. At the moment I am encased in a tomb of ice. There is ice everywhere. Ice. And yeah, so I'm not sure where we're going to go, but we're going to go find somewhere with some ice and a beautiful focal point. Enjoy. Well, I've made it to the location of the first part of my vlog today. The colour is kicking off, so I need to be nice and quick, otherwise I'm going to miss my opportunity. The lock that I'm at, I'm not actually too sure what it's called, but it is beautiful. Check this out. So apart from the cars whizzing past every so often, this is a pretty idyllic location. Absolutely incredible. But here comes another car. What I am going to do is the cars keep coming up and down, is I'm going to get this tripod set up and see if I can get this image before the colour's gone. I've got everything all set up now. I've got my freestop grad ND filter. I've got my polarizer on the front just to cut off a bit of glare off these rocks over to this side. And what I'm going to wait for now is a bit of light to hit the top of them mountains, a little bit of that alpine glow, a little bit of that first sunlight just hitting the tops of them mountains. What I've decided to do for the mountains though, I've decided to have the big main one right in the middle, and these acting like balancers. So these are going to be balancing out the image, and this is going to be the main focal point, this huge big mountain in the middle. And then for the foreground, as I've got these rocks on this side and a bit of this beach, and then this rock on this side. So hopefully that's going to help the picture to be more balanced throughout the shot. The tide is on the way out at the moment, so it is changing quite rapidly, but I think I've got my foreground. What I am also thinking I might do is put a 10-stop ND filter in and do a really long exposure just to flatten and smooth out all this water to even make the image so simple, because at the moment there's not a lot really going on in it. So if I can flatten it out even more, it makes it become the even more neutral, just nice, simple image. I'm going to give that a go now. So just as I was about to start taking my filters off and changing everything, I decided to test something out a little bit, and I think it actually worked much better. So what I did, I went to f/22 and I've got my ISO set onto L10, which is my lowest in-camera sensitivity, which gives me a 6-second exposure. So it doesn't end up becoming silky and like satin. What it does, it becomes smooth but with still some textures in. And it worked out much better that way. I'll show you what I mean. So this is the image on f/22 and ISO L10. You see I've still got a little bit of movement in the foreground here. Still got a little bit of movement, but it's simplified by not having the ripples, the deep ripples that I have got out there. And I got this image earlier where I've still got a little bit of colour in the sky. And now I'm just waiting for that light to hit the top of the mountains, just to bring it all together. So I've decided to pack up. As you'll see in the time lapse I'm about to show you, the tide has been moving out quite progressively, and yeah, it's just not working. It's just not working, the composition. So I've decided to pack up, and I'm going to head to another location down near Torrin, down near Broadford. And hopefully that gives some better results. I did like the image I created, but I feel like there's better. In conditions like this, there has to be something stronger. So I'm going to head off there now. I'll see you there. This is a lot more like it. My God, it is beautiful down here. Absolutely incredible. Check this out. Isn't that amazing? So the main reason I came here is because, one, it doesn't have any mountains in front of it, so it is guaranteed to capture light. Two, this beautiful lake filled full of reeds that just looks absolutely amazing, and not very often has a lot of wind, so you can most times get amazing reflections. Now, it also has this tree that just sort of stands right in the middle of it, and it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, what I need to find now is a little clear spot in the reeds where I can really capture that reflection of the mountain in the background, the snow-capped mountain. And Blavan right now looks absolutely incredible. So I think I might drive down a little bit further in a minute and capture another image of that. But for now, I'm pretty much lined up for the shot that I'm looking at. And wow, it's incredible. Right, time to get set up. So I've decided to climb up the hill a little bit to give myself a bit of a higher, so I've got a little bit more of a bird's eye view of the lake. By doing this, it also simplifies the lake, because before what you had really strong reeds sticking out in the foreground, but because I'm at a distance now, they've become more neutral with everything else that's going on in the lake. So I'm going to quickly get set up, because I don't want to miss Blavan, because wow, honestly, that mountain right now, probably the best I've seen it look, and I've seen it with a double rainbow above it. So I've been having a little bit of trouble composing this image. Over this side I've got loads of trees, and that means I can't really move any further over that way. But to get the tree that's in the middle of the lake in the middle of my image, what I've had to do is include a little bit of the road. Now, with Photoshop and how clever it is these days, it is very easy fix. All it is you draw around it, content aware fill, and then just neaten it up, make it look a little bit tidier. But this is the composition I'm going for. So I'll turn off my level. There we go. So I've got the tree just over here, and this is what I've focused on. I've got the reflection of the mountain through all the reeds up to the mountain. I've tried to leave the same amount at the top and the bottom of Skye. My settings, I've got it on L10, F11, which is giving me 1/6 of a second exposure. I'll just fire that off now. Look at that. Nothing else needs to be done. That doesn't even really need editing. The light is so perfect that I really don't feel like there's a lot I can do to that image to make it look that much better. Maybe adding a little bit more of a vignette. But there we go. One image, super impressive and beautiful. Let's move on to Blavan. Because Blavan right now, honestly, incredible. So it's time to pack up and move on to the next location. Such a simple shot. I love it. I am so glad I decided to change location, because this could be my favourite shot of 2019 so far. There's a couple of things that are not perfect about it, but everything else is so strong that I don't think it matters. Because wow, look at this. spectacular. That is the word I would use to describe this. Absolutely spectacular. Now all I need to do though is find the composition, the thing that's going to marry everything together and make it work in unison. Wait until you see the back of my viewfinder right now, the back of my screen. My God, easily my favourite picture of 2019 so far. Look at that. I've got the reflection of the land here pointing straight over onto the main peak. The main peak is in shadow at the moment and I'm going to wait for it to be lit up. But I'm going to capture this one because I like this being lit up, so then I might blend that lit up, this lit up together. I've got my graduated neutral density filter on the front, free stop. I've got it on a slight angle because I'm darkening this section of the sky here. I'm going to focus manually on the mountains in the distance. So I'll zoom all the way in. There we go, see it's out, and then that's pin sharp. So get that on pin sharp, and that should mean everything else is acceptably sharp. I've got it on f11, ISO L10, which is giving me a 1/5, 1/5 of a second exposure, and now, boom. So simple. So beautiful. Nothing else really needs to be said. I'm just going to wait for the mountains to light up. Once I've got that, this is something real special. And I'm glad I'm here to share it with you. Normally this happens when the GoPro's not around. But this time, you're here with me. Right. I'll set you up with a little bit of a time lapse, I guess, so you can watch it change as I do. Nothing much more to say other than, wow. What a morning. The perfect amount of snow, the perfect amount of cold. Not got my gloves on yet, so I'm alright. And two spectacular images. I'm not so sure about that first one, but the two that I got afterwards, wow. And that final one, just look at it again. Mind blowing. What I am planning on doing with that image though, is I got an image when the light was on the side of the hill over here, and I got an image where the whole of the mountains lit up. I'm going to blend them together so it's got light on the foreground and light on the mountains and a little bit of shadows in the midground, and I think that will make a beautiful image. There's only one thing that I really wish I'd done this morning, and that was come here first. But you can't have it all, you can't have it all. But that means that I have got somewhere else to come for maybe the next vlog. Come here for a morning shot, because if first light looked as good as it did this morning, but on these mountains, with this snow and these reflections, that's like world class. I think so anyway. But anyway, I'm going to finish the vlog here. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if nothing else, come to Skye. Definitely. If you've got a passion for photography, you've got a camera, come to Skye. It is such an amazing location. Summer, autumn, winter, all beautiful. Right. I'll see you next time.